Perfect. Alrighty. So first of all, homeworks. How did it go?
Was fine.
Was fine?
Yeah, it's not hard this time.
It was not hard?
Not hard.
Okay, okay. Oh, that's nice. That's
But
nice.
this, I don't know, because we didn't connect with the database or JSON files, so it's only memory for the app.
Exactly. So yeah, that's a very good point. So the app we built doesn't use a DB for now because you didn't do DB yet. So we oversimplified and we say we leave the DB for now and we use either file or in memory. It's fine. It's not now the DB is not important, but you will see that you're going to do exactly the same operation you do on the file. You're going to do to DB. You will have an instance of the DB, and then when you want to, I don't know, save an item, you will go db.open table items .add, and it would be like the operation conceptually would be very similar to what they're really doing on the file. But having DB has immense advantages. And we saw one last time. For every time we need to write, we need to read all of it, parse it, add, and write all of it again. And that was one of that's not really performant. It's okay if the file is very small, but when it starts to grow, you will have issues. And also find things. Every time you need to find something, you need to read all
the file
and go through the file. So use indexes in DB and different tables and join and all that will actually help you many folds. And it will be also for you actually it will be easier for you to do operation because the DB is going to handle some logic for you. But we are not using DB. We are going to focus more on Node and Express and web server and all that. How was homeworks?
It was fair.
Was okay?
Fair.
Was too hard?
No. It wasn't. Yeah.
Okay. Did you try Postman to check if all your endpoints worked? Yeah. Perfect. All right. Perfect. I'm really happy. So today we are gonna work upon what we already started last 2 weeks ago, week 4, and I think this is the most interesting class because we are gonna do something that is very close to what happened in real life. In real life, you have a web server that is able to serve you both API and HTML pages. Usually, you have 1 or 2 web servers, one which is dedicated to serve HTML pages, and one for the APIs. And that's more real. That's actually what happened in real life. The index, like the HTML pages, you need because you need some HTML, and that's going to be rendered by the server. And then you need some API because you want to do those very nice data fetching without have a full reload of the page. So you want to fetch some data through the API, get just a portion of data, and update a portion of the page with the new data. So that's what we're going to do today. I don't think it's. I think at this point you have all the tools and all the knowledge to put this together. So I will go through. Can any one of you send homework so we also review? So I have also starting point.
I just sending you the index file, main file.
Yeah. Just send me the project.
Slack.
Yeah, just zip the folder and send me the project. I can also like write it here. Actually, it's not like a big deal. Yeah, I think I will just do it here. It's fine. It's not.
send the file on the Slack?
Yeah, but I think it's not too hard. Actually, you can. So list item, right? And here. So there was like a good question about status code. So you can send the status code like this. So you can do, let's say, resto status 200, and then you send this. Okay, the ID will be. We can use the name. So we can do that. List.item.find. And that's this is an item, and if actually we do this, some item. So if item dot name equal ID. Oh, sorry, that's request dot params. I don't know. I don't have auto completion. It's weird. Oops. I think I need to go and label classes express server. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Nice. Then if I do start, oops. Okay, start. Nice. Okay, cool. Okay, so if we think this params.id, I'll send the item. My shopping to that and return true. Do you know why I'm returning true here? This is important.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah, it will break the loop. So some it's like a for each, but in the second you return true, it won't continue to carry on the looping. Nice. Okay, so post will be add item, and add item will actually take it from the body, right? So we can do rec.body.
Small class. Yeah. I just heard from Darian that it's not coming, but have you heard from anyone else? What about Rashid?
I didn't hear. Tomorrow he called me. He was saying that he will come to the class, but I haven't reached yet.
Right. Well, maybe Class will come in later, just to like sit for a while. Nothing crazy, but he just wants to see like what the level is.
Yeah, sure.
Right. See you later. And yeah, if the camera team comes in and you don't want to be filmed, just let them know.
All right. Okay. Okay. So we put the body. The body. I don't know. Do you remember if it's passed or not?
No.
It's not. So okay. First of all, I think we need to create also a new item, right? So const new item equal new shopping item, and this shopping item will take yes. I think I need to parse this, right?
No.
No? No, okay. So should be something like this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Dot amount. Perfect. Okay. And then when I have an item, I can take the item and add to the shopping list.
Yes.
And then for be cool, we return. We do res and we do this. We send back the shopping list. Yeah. And then we can do the same with delete, right? So delete is pretty much like post, but instead of do add, we do dot delete remove item, and then we do I think the remove item take an index, so we need to find the index. So we do my shopping list dot list of item dot find index, and that will be item, and find index will take actually I can use some again. This would be simpler. Then I can just have let e equal -1. Actually do just the index like that. And then when we find that is true, this returns an index. Then we can do equal index. And then return. So this would be I, and then we can remove I from here. Does it make sense? So I create a variable, I go through again like with sum, and then if the ID that coming from the request is the same as name, I'm gonna find the index and then return, and then use the index to actually remove the item from the shopping list, and then send the shopping list back. Cool. I have no clue because I'm just in front of you live, but let's try it out. So first of all, let's go to localhost 3000. And for be nice, we do this. Cool. Perfect. Okay, so this is my index page. Nice. Now, I need Postman. So I'm doing homeworks live in front of you. So Postman, you create a request. Did we save something? Oh, I think I put something here. Okay, it's a shopping. Shopping list. Okay, so let's do a get on shopping list. This sounds correct to me. So post on shopping list, and body we do row, and we JSON, and we do name. Oops. Name, amount,
Yes, no.
2, price, so, okay. So save this. Send that. Yes. And if I send something else, let's say banana, Yeah. Okay. So every time I add, it gives me back the updated list. So that's actually nice, right? So ninth I do get. Yes. So that's nice. If I do get with banana, oh, I think something when
Actually, we are searching with index.
is params. So this is not working, right? We can do that. We can use actually the idea to make things a bit simpler. So we can just return this.
I just equal to the ID.
Yeah, just do like that, if you don't mind. So I'm just using the ID. Okay. Which is not too bad because in the DB you would do pretty much the same. You use the ID of the item in the table. So in this case, this table is linear. Alrighty. So let's see. If I do get, if you get, so it's empty obviously. Now I post something. Oops. No, sorry, this one. Post. Post. Oops. Why if I click here, I'm expecting that is post. Okay. Post body. Yeah, that's nice. Banana. Apple. And I should have a couple of items. Perfect. So if I delete the first, I should get only apple, right? Okay, this was an error. Oh, this is delete, sorry. Oh, I will copy this. No, sorry, I was testing get, right? My bad. Get 0. I think this just stopped. Let me start that again. Let me post some. Yep. Nice. Okay, so I do get and I do get the first. ID is not defined. Index 43. Oh, sorry. This is my bad. This is request params.id, right? So this should be yeah. I need to post again. No, it won't save now. Send.
That's how we should use database, right? That's how we should use database.
Okay, get. I get the first. I should return banana. Nice. If I get the second, should get apple. Perfect. So it's working, right? Let's do the same with delete. And with delete, we need to be careful, right? Because and it's actually the same here. Before do this, we should actually check, right? So in reality, we should do like this. If that exists, then we can delete it. Otherwise, we respond with 4 or 4. And then we can also send a message. Sorry, this resource was not found. Because what could happen is this, right? I'm here and I try to do a get on an item that doesn't exist. And I would like to have a nice message with also with also the right with the right status code. So that's important, right? You need to actually have this check. So if the item doesn't exist, you can even be a bit more clever and say you can use the new interpolation. If you want to. Okay. Nice. So, and we need to do basically the same for delete, right? So, delete is exactly the same. So if that exists, then we can delete. So if exists, we can delete. Otherwise, we send a message. And delete would be like this. And we use the ID here. And if everything succeeds, after that we do that. Cool. Make also things a bit more simple. So I run that again. I need to add some items. Yeah, post, send. Oh. Send another one. Perfect. So if I do get and I do get the first one, I get tagging with ID 0 was not found. What's possible?
Yes.
Get ID. Shopping list 0. Oh, okay. There you go. Sorry. I think I had a space here or something. So this is 0 is fine. 1. Nice. If I do 12. Perfect. The item with ID 12 was not found. Cool. So if I do 0, it's Apple. What about I do delete now? So if I do delete 0, this is list of item. It's not a function. Remove. Oh, there's actually a problem in the class, right? I can see there's a problem in the class actually there. Oh, this list of item. Oh, wrong parenthesis. You see, it's the same check that actually I'm doing in the. I check if that exists. Cool. Are you following me?
Yeah.
Post. No, let me click on that one. Four, 7. Okay. Nice. Get. If I do get on the first, I should get 1. Nice. 1. Apple. Cool. Delete. Delete the first. Send. Boom. This is the list. Nice. Only Apple. In fact, if I also get the entire list. Oh, what happened here? Gaps. Why did complain about? Sorry, get Yeah, yeah. So I have only one item, right? And I could delete this too. So if I do delete and I do 0, I will delete Apple as well. You see now the new list is actually empty. If I do get the list and if I get 0, so we can do all the operation. We can actually add item to the list. We can delete. We can show all the item in the list. So we are good. Does make sense? So this was the onwards, right? Plus we have add this index page. So I think we are aligned now.
Why they don't ask questions?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Can we use filter instead of style?
Yeah, you can do the way. I'm not using sum anymore. Actually, because I'm using the index.
Okay.
So but yeah, you could use filter. 100%. You can use filter because you're doing by name.
Yes.
Yeah.
But ID, no.
I'm using the ID, the index of the array,
Yeah.
because remember the shopping list is actually an array of objects. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So I'm using the index to find. You are using the name.
Yes.
Okay, it's fine. For make it a bit more simpler, I use the index. But yeah, you could write something like my shopping list. I think you're writing something something like that. Oops. Okay. This is the item. You're probably writing something like that. Dot name equal.
I didn't even use require parameters for ID. I just change the ID to name, so it's equal to name.
Yeah, you're calling this name, right?
Yeah.
So you can have a name here. And then this will return when it's true, and this is your item, right?
Yes.
And probably you have something like this in the end. So you find the item with filter and then and you return. Yeah, this is absolutely fine. Just like a different implementation. I'm using the ID and I won't use the array. So I'm not using, but I could. I mean, nobody stops me to do this. This is not the most elegant, but I could do also or I could have params, or I could keep the ID and do something like this and be even clever. So I can check the type.
Yes. I do use it.
Yeah, and then I could do like parse int, and if it's a type of number, you know what I mean, right? I could do some check, and then if it's a D, I will go for the array, otherwise I will go for the name. But I want to keep my life simple now because we need to move forward. But yeah, you could do many things. Oh, you can have multiple endpoints. So you can actually have a very specific find endpoint where you can use query params to look for amount, name. You can use the different query params. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like in the URL, you could do something like this. search, for example, and then you can have you can have one endpoint, call it search, where you just give some different query parameters. So you can have name, then you can have amount, and so on and so forth. So nobody. I mean, you could easily do one more endpoint, like a search endpoint, and embed all the logic for search in there. Okay, this is not the most important thing at the moment. So we have got an entire API set working with all the different operations. Do you remember that we talked about this? You know, at some point we went to the REST API things and we said we should use the verbs to do some operation on our resources. Which is our resources in our case? The shopping list is our resource, and we're using get, post, and delete. So we are actually respecting the REST API methods. You know, get for retrievers all the resources, so a single resource. Patch. We didn't implement patch yet. To do a partial update, we did post and we did delete.
I think patch is the same.
Is the same.
Like the post.
Is very.
IP and then in that.
I think I can. I think I can really do in 3 seconds. So you first find it,
Yeah.
because patch
The same like the delete.
patch needs an ID, right? So patch is basically this. If you think about it, it's basically find it with an ID, and then if exists, so new edited item, this item is this item. I'm doing something special here, plus what is coming from the body, right? So rect.body. So this is a clever way to merge properties in an array. So we'll take the props of this, which is name, amount, and price, and what is this? It will override. So if the rect.body has a props price, the price will substitute this one. And I need to save this back, right? And I don't think we have an edit in our shopping list. Oh, that's why I didn't. That's why I didn't make you implement it, because we don't have an edit. Okay. So edit would be basically find it. Why this? I'm confused now. Why? Did I just change that?
Yeah.
I'm changing the right folder. Yes, so okay. Wait. Yeah, edit item. So this would take the index, and we'll do pretty much the same, right? So we will go and find this list item I, and then if that exists, basically this line. So if that exists, it will do the same.
It will add.
Yeah, we create a new we create a new item. So new item or edit item. It would be this one plus patch here, and patch would be like this. Oops. Boom. Okay. And we make return this. Oops. So we got an item there. So we avoid the logic in here. We keep the logic into yeah. So the index would be rec.params.id, and the patch would be rec.body, right? And this will return the new item. Oh, and yeah, when I got the item, then I can do rec.status 200.send item. Okay, I embed the logic of editing in the class. I have this edit item, which will find the item and return the item for me, and also save it back actually. So shopping this.list items I equal, right? I need to save it back after I merge the original object with a patch. I need to save. I need to save that item back to the list, and then I return that single item. And this helps me a little bit because here I have I can return it here, and then I can send it here. Does it make sense? Let's try patch. Oh, first of all, I need to add some stuff. Cool. Are you following me? Yeah, perfect. Patch. So let's say I want to patch the first, and I want to patch with amount 200. Edit item is not defined. Was like oh. Remember that const is block scoped, so it exists only in the block. So if I have this return here, that's not okay. This says that it cannot find it. Okay, my bad. So post. Perfect, and then Apple on price 12. Then if I do patch 0, I want to just change the amount of the bananas because 2 bananas are too little. Oh yeah. I want to change the amount of the banana. So index 0, amount 2. I want to change to amount 10. Okay, send it. And rest dot, oh, it's rest, not rec. Jesus Christ. I'm really sorry, guys, as I'm a bit tired. Whew. Close that. Let's go back here. And let's go back here and post. Yeah. Send. Cool. Patch 0. I want to change the Apple amount. And let's say I want to have it to 123 apples. That's a lot. Patch. So now if I go shopping list, sorry, not patch, but get 123. Is that okay? So we got now if we go back, we got the entire, we got 100% of the REST API coverage. So we can do all the operation. We can patch, we can post, we can delete, and we can get both of all resources and a single resource. Okay, so what we need to do this week. That one. So, as I said, now we focus on the Express Server REST API part. Of the entire web server, we said, okay, cool, we are doing the REST API part. And we actually did it. We completed. We got one full REST API implementation of one resources shopping list. What about we add a static page? So we have an HTML. Our web server serves us in HTML, and we use Ajax requests to the API web server to use our API in our front end. So now we need to. So we got the REST API in place. That's good. We need an index.html page. We know how to do that in Express to serve an HTML page. We already done it. Now we have, if that HTML page we have a client code, a JavaScript code in the HTML page that can dynamically, asynchronously, does some requests to our API, we can actually get data on the go.
Get the data from the website.
Exactly. We get the data from the REST API and populate the HTML on the go. Ajax. So we're doing the Ajax request now. So we're going to add an index.html page. That will be our front end, and then we need to develop a little bit of front end to communicate with our REST API. So that's the goal of today. And then we put everything together. And we have a full-blown application. Very small, but a full-blown application. The application consists to show the list of items and be able to add and delete. So when I load this HTML page, I have the list of items. Then if I then have the delete button on next to the items list, so I can just click the button and then it will delete and won't refresh the page. Just click delete and then it will delete without having a full page refresh. I'm gonna do this with you guys. I don't know which, this is very depends on the taste and our preferences, but I'm gonna use Preact, which is like React. Yeah. You can use plain JavaScript if you want to. You can do whatever you want to. Okay, but we start together. We have an HTML page in place, and at some point I will use a framework to do this because I'm a bit quicker with this framework. I know it very well, but you can use anything you are comfortable with in the front end space, which I don't know. I don't know if you have done React. No, none of you have done React. Okay. Okay, then maybe you just follow along with me in case you don't feel confident to do it on your own. Okay. So there is a lot of coding today. This is like, and we got this part. We need a static page, huh? And so if we go here,
Marco, can you send this coding to Slack?
yeah,
So that
It's not mix up.
okay. I will. So I'll do like this. I will. Okay, it's not too bad. It's not too bad.
it's +4. Yes.
Okay, so it's the entire folder. Okay, the Express server. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is have static pages. So Express is so nice that if you go Express, if you Google Express static pages, has a really like a tiny look. That's how easy it is. So I do this. Basically, I copy the line. This is ridiculously easy, and I put it here. Express static, and that's how easy it is. So the public part, public is the folder where the folder that will be served entirely as that will be your entry point. So we can remove actually this now. I can create a folder, call it static, public, sorry. New folder, public. And then now look, in public I create a new file called index.html. And cool. So I just add those two lines. So this is my entry point, you see, and I still have the shopping list. So if I do shopping list, it's still there. You see, it's empty. Okay. Does it make sense? Okay, cool. And if I create another page, because I know you're going to ask me this later, so that's why I grab your attention. You simply create a new page in the public folder, and this is about page. So by default, the index page is here, and then about page is here. Oops. So you see the about HTML, and this is index HTML, or index HTML is also the root. Cool. We don't need about, okay? So do you remember all that disaster that we did? We require the page and serve. We don't need all of that. You simply need to add this line. Yeah, you just need to add this line and create a folder, and everything will be automatic. So the only thing I did was to add this. And besides that, also if I add some CSS, it will work. So if I go here and add some CSS, so let's say link CSS style CSS, I create new file, call it style CSS, and I do background. So background color. Save that, refresh, go in business. Okay, and if you see the request, we have two requests: the page itself, which is this, and we have the style that is this, which is this. Okay, cool. So I wanted you to do this. And then after we have that, actually, also the last thing, please, you do a new file and you do index.js, and you do like a console log here, and you add yeah. So that means that when I run this, I get also this file, and if I go in the console, it's running. Okay, so if you create an HTML with a style, CSS, and an index.js, then we move forward. And I wanted you to do manually because it helps you to memorize. Okay, and then from this point on, we have also completed this bit. You see, if you go back to the slide, we also complete static pages after we've done that, and then we can move to the second point, which would be front end that communicates with Express server. Okay, so now we are here. So you see, typical Web Express web server will be service static pages, and that's what we are doing now. The index HTML with the static assets, and then the REST API in JSON format. That's what we have already done. And then we need to also connect to DB. This will be a class itself. It will be what's coming next. Let's do this service static pages, and then we see how to connect front and back end and everything. We talk about a bit more like generic web application, and then we move forward. So 5 minutes. I grab some more.
Make the folder in S/C.
That is
We should make the folder inside it here.
Yeah.
Like a public folder.
Yes.
inside.
SRC source.
Yeah.
Inside.
Yes.
No, public. Is it public should be
Outside.
Outside, yeah.
Outside study. SRS.
Where our index file located? Like we have here index
I
file.
haven't seen how he is structured, but
Okay.
he showed the code, right? Or did he show the structure already?
Sure.
I think I don't know. I just remember it's like outside, and then we put here for this side.
And give me a V code if you open it. Yeah, the public folder outside.
Yeah,
Yes,
outside.
it's outside.
No, I say the.
I will switch to your ID. Is it? Yeah.
What's the?
I use your machine to switch to ID.
Yeah, absolutely.
No problem. Let's go.
Yeah, wow, it's nice the weather today.
Should I turn on the light? Do you need that?
So you give me a head up when you are done?
Yes.
When I say the public folder, how do you put it connect with the index?
Yeah, that's exactly what I said before, right? You say public. App use express static, and this public, it's the name of the folder public,
Okay.
and then it will pick it up from there automatically. So you can have like a bunch of resources in this public folder, and it will be automatically.
It's a relative class, right? Relative.
No, it takes from the. You see, it takes from the project folder.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah. I will. I have some issue with the battery because I will run out of battery before class.
Do you need the charger?
I forgot my charger because it's just on. But I think Christopher's a Mac as well.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we can borrow. Also, you have a charger. Right?
I don't.
No, you don't as well. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna keep battery load for now.
Should application app.
I didn't get the senses.
No, JS.
And just like get without the slash.
It says main page, index page.
This one. So you use this. How do you decide this? So you choose this one.
If you are running watch, build fast, right? It's so much. Source.
You're good?
I add that use static path, but it is not accessing my index page.
So did you create a public folder in the project?
Yes.
is the public folder containing like index.html and let me remove this one.
I use this public folder and I add this one. Express code, static and public.
Can you build it? Can you build the project? Store files.
Add dot get. Should be send or
You have to send this. See.
Let us have a look at the index HTML file.
Sure.
Because my JavaScript cannot go.
So the index.html file has two references. You see, has a link to the style and a script to the index.js. Guys, I don't think this should be too hard. Actually.
yeah.
It's basically the method of add one line in the index.js just file and create two files.
Index.js.
Mine is failing to connect to the server.
Okay.
Yeah, because I forgot something about the HTML code.
Okay, no problem. So, cool.
What can I show it again? The example is not working here. Can I go to source index file?
Yeah, let me move the old one. This is not important anymore.
Yes.
So you need to add this one.
Yeah. But it's saying can find get method or something.
I'll just copy all this file and share it. Because I don't know what's missing in my file.
Oh, you need a.
Can you please see here why it's not working? The project conversion.
I just add dot use. Yes.
Yeah.
And also make the here public folder and put the HTML.
Yep. Did you stop and run again?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And you need to remove this because otherwise this will take over. You need to remove this get method. No. All these 3 lines. Yep. Stop and start the app. Local 3000. Can you? Oh, you have 2 minutes. Can you go back to? do/index.html. Try to go back. Are you running on port 3000? Yeah. Try to scroll down. Yeah, 3000. Try to access the shopping list.
In the browser.
Yeah. Yeah, that one should return. Yeah, that's correct.
It's returning.
It's empty already.
Can I see the indexation page? Yeah, that's fine. Oh, did you compile? Well, it's compile. Yeah. Okay, cool. Remember to compile the app, obviously. You see, I have two terminals, one side by side, and okay. Okay, guys, let's move forward. This should have taken 2 minutes. Okay. So if I open my index.js file, let's do something like this. I'm going to use Fetch, which is a modern API. This won't work in every browser, but we're just using Chrome for the moment. So this will be fine. All right? Are you following me? Let's make this bigger.
For public folder, is it on the same level? Like source, is it on the same? But it is inside because I have it here. Public, yes, it is in the same level. CRC.
What's the question?
I created it on the level. Is it inside?
No, it's outside. It's okay, it's fine.
Okay, so yeah, public is side by side with source. You see?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Fetch is a browser API. It allows you to make asynchronous requests in the browser. So look at this. If here I write shopping list, I want to show something before we go to lunch. Let's use. Okay, let's do this. I don't want to use. I want to use another library because anyway we're going to use this. Axios. So we're going to use this library, Axios. No, you don't have to worry about now, but I want to show you what it does. You remember all the operation we did with Postman?
Yes.
We can do with Axios, pretty much the same. I want to use Fetch, but Fetch is you need more things than just this, and that's not the purpose of the. So I'm gonna use Axios. I'm gonna import it in my index.html page, like so. So if I go Axios, I'm just using CDN for now. CDN. Yeah. So just gonna grab that one. Then I can have a script. I'm gonna grab from, basically I'm grabbing from the web, the library. Okay. So if I do shopping list and I refresh the one, data array empty. Data is my body basically. Okay. So now if I go on Postman, I'm using two clients now. So I'm Postman body, and I add an apple, and I go in my browser and I refresh. Amount to name Apple price 2, which is exactly the one that I just add with Postman. If I add now banana, one banana price 23 crowns. I've got banana, and if I go here and I refresh, so now you understand what this code means. This code allows me to use the API without refresh the page. Because now we can do also post from here, right? So we could do post. And if we go here, Axios library. There are examples how to use post. Just copy that. So for example, if I do post and there's my shopping list, and we have name, amount, let's say 2, and price. And price we say 23 crowns. Okay. Now, if I do get on all the shopping list, I have those two. Now, if I run this code, it will actually add from the browser. And if I go here and do this, and this is exactly the one I added here, 223. You see, is last one. So Axios, it's a library to do asynchronous HTTP request from the browser. So now imagine if you have a button and an input form where you can put your name, your price, and your amount, and you push add, and then you get back the new list, and then you refresh the UI to add, to show the new item, right? Without refresh the page, just updating with a UI library, for example, React or Angular or Preact or whatever.
So basically it's in the website, and there is a one button.
Yeah.
Put
and we'll call it, and when we'll call this.
Yeah.
When you create a new item in the shopping list, when you add a new item in the shopping list, you will actually call this function, and you will grab those value instead of hard coded here. You will grab from the input form. Yeah, I see you guys a bit. You follow me, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You grab from the input form with some I don't know, jQuery or JavaScript or whatever you want to do, and then when we get back the new list, then we re-render the new list in the page.
So it display without refreshing the page.
Exactly. And that's more like a single page application. It's called single page application because you do one single request of the HTML, and then all the rest of the operations it's modifying the HTML that you already have in your browser. So you're just getting very tiny bits of data from the server, and then you do some client rendering. You change the aspect of HTML in the browser. Does it make sense what I'm saying?
No.
Perfect.
Chamber.
So let's recap, right? Focus on what I'm saying now.
Yeah.
So the regular web server, they will actually serve one HTML page for every request, right? That's very inefficient because let's say you want to change just one tiny bit of your HTML page. Why you need to download one full big page for just update one tiny bit?
We update the.
Yeah. So the AJAX request allow you to fetch an HTML page in the beginning once, single one, and then use AJAX request to fetch the data that you need, only the data that you need, only the data you need to update, and refresh that bit of the HTML page. Just a bit of the HTML page, not the full page. Just change in the client, modify the HTML in the client of that page.
Yes.
Should I repeat it or?
It's like, for example, you open a web page and it's like book list. Firstly, only load the 20 book lists once you open the website. So if you go down, then it will load more.
Yeah. That's exactly that's called lazy loading, because it's lazily load more items. That's use Ajax request. You know, have you done like you scroll down and then there's like a loading and then comes more stuff. It's not refreshing the new page. It's adding. It's modifying the existing page with the new.
You don't need to load the whole book list. You only need to load when you open.
Exactly. You only load the bits that you are missing, or you are changing. Like when you get a message, and you from 2 you get 3. Let's say you have already 2 unread messages, and you have a new message. Why you need the full repage for just change the number from 2 to 3? It would be insane, right? So the Ajax request say, oh, there is a new message, and then we'll go find the piece of the HTML and just update that one. Alrighty, so we need 2 for the front end. We need two. Now we're gonna work a little bit front end and back end and everything in between. So for the front end, we need two parts, basically 2 bits. One library for communicate with the backend, and we already got that one. This is Axios, which allows us to do HTTP operations against our web server, and then we need another library which allows us to modify the HTML, the DOM. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna use Preact. Do you prefer that I do in simple JavaScript?
Yeah.
Or you want that I prefer I use a framework?
Let's use JavaScript one, which at least I exposed.
Okay.
Well, I think we are going to learn right now. We're not familiar with it.
Okay. Then I will do this in in plain JavaScript. So, first of all, what is the first thing I want to do? Render the list. So in the moment I get the HTML page, I want to see my items. And how do I render the list? Yes. So it's this one, right? Basically. But instead of post is get, and we have nothing here. And then we just take that one. Perfect. Let's comment this out. So the first thing I want to do is to get the list. So you see when I refresh the page, I have this .data that actually will contain the list. Cool. So here I have something called response.data. Which contains my shopping list. Perfect. So how do we render now a shopping list in the HTML? We need to create some elements, right? Okay. So let's create something here. Let's do section. That's gonna be fun. This. Okay, cool. Let's call it let's give it an ID. Let's put shopping list. Okay, so I can give a title. Okay, so if I refresh this page, my shopping list now is empty. I need to populate this URL with some li items, right? So what I do here, save. Here I do yeah, I need to create a new node, so I will do response.data for each, and this will be item, right? So those are the data. Remember, the response.data is this. It's an array. So for each item, I want to create a new. So let's put this. Let shopping list lie. Documents.create.
You can use template reader, right? You can use the template itself. Not array, like you template literal and then define the li.
You like a text?
As a template, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Simple.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's one way of doing it. Let's do this then.
Yeah, that's it.
Like that. Let's use it's a good idea. Okay, so here now I can do item.name. Okay, name. And then we got price. And we got amount, right? Actually, let's put amount before. Amount, and amount is this item.amount, right? Okay, cool. And I can push it here. Oh, since we are, then in this case we can have a string and so I'm appending to the same. You know what I'm trying to do? We will add a li to the same one, so it will end up here to have. Let me console log this for you. Console log that one. This will. You see, I have this li item here. So I can now do document.getElement by the shopping list, and then I can append child like that. Yeah, I cannot do that. I need to create elements if I want to append to the shopping list. If you know what I mean.
Is there
Because I want to find the element shopping list and append the nodes. You know, like here. No, in here I cannot do this.
I have to create you
I cannot do this. Append child on node parameter 1 is not type of node. Oh, I probably need a.
right? What is it? Shopping list is it? Is it a div or?
Yeah.
So in div you cannot use li, right? You have to need ul li or something.
No. That one is UL.
Shopping list, yeah.
But append child takes two. Let me review append child. Being used to Preact, it's yeah. I need to create an element. So I was going in the right direction. This is that. I think I can do document dot create element and li, and the create element takes tag name, so I can do that. Create element, yeah. I'll call it that. And I will do this. Oh, I'll reduce that string, sorry. Okay. Okay. So the proper way of doing it is to create an element and then change its properties, and then you can append. Then you can do this, yeah. Actually, like that. So for each element, you create a new one. You add the string inside the li, and then you append to the shopping list. Yes. And watch out. This is the super important part. Those bits are rendered in the browser. Is the browser rendering that part? In fact, if you go in the network, I want to show this very, very clear. In the localhost, you see it's empty. It's empty. We populate this part of the page. So this is page. This is static. This is static. This is not static. This is dynamic. This is the browser taking the data, creating the elements, and inject in the HTML and modify the HTML. You know what I mean? You see, we get the data from here. We get the data. We iterate over the array. We create nodes. We create HTML, and then at some point we append this HTML to existing HTML in the page. This is the very important paradigm that distinguishes static rendering or server rendering with client rendering. This is client rendering because it's the client in charge of grab data and injecting the HTML.
So it means in like Postman, if we post one more card, it will render on the browser.
Yes. So now if we go here and we get Postman, we go to our post body and then we add carrots, 20 carrots, and on sale. Send. So now you see I'm doing the operation here. I'm adding the operation here. What about I create a form underneath this list where I can do add and will automatically add it here.
Form and it
Yeah.
will automatically add
Yeah, so instead of write it all the time here, I just have a form.
here. And
Yeah.
it will add without refreshing the
Exactly,
page.
yes. So let's add a form. So I create a new section. Let's see if we can do that. Yeah, form. So input text. And name. Amount. You know, let's do things proper. Let's do label as well. I wanna like this. Just doing slightly better with label because then we can have this name. Then we have amount. Okay. Okay, you agree with me with this, right? So now if we display, and then also what we need, type. Oh, nice. And we say add item, okay? So now if I get this one, yeah, I've got my form. It's not the prettiest form, I must say, but it's a form. We can, for now, just use, this is fine. Okay. So now you see when I click add, you see what happened here? Yeah. Yes. So we need to prevent. Yeah, we need to prevent that when we submit it. Actually, this take. Refresh the page because it's gonna change the URL, right? We don't want this. We are using an Ajax request. So what we can do here is to have no action first, and let's give an ID. So let's say when I start, I want to have document.getElementById item form. I think it's this. I think this is that event. Yeah. Okay, let's log this out. So I'm capturing the event or the submit event on the form. Let's see if this works. So if I go here and I do add, this goes after. I don't know. I don't know if you can see. Let me do console. I don't know if you can see. It's actually printing very quickly. Event. It's because it's refreshing this page, so you cannot see. But you can. Yeah, preserve log. So if you do this, you can see it's actually. So now, if I do if I do event here, I do event prevent default. It won't change the URL. You see? And I've got the right submit. You see? Because with the prevent default, it will prevent the default behavior. Which the default behavior is to read the form and use the name attributes as query params to add stuff. Okay? We are in line with this, right? Okay. Like, you need to stop me if I just go crazy, huh? Okay, so interestingly enough, in the target, you see, we have the name. So if I display event of target, now I don't need that anymore. If I do display the target, you see I have those ones. So one way of doing it is to one way of doing would be to do even.target, and you see it's an array. You know, I'll keep it simple for you. I'll keep it simple. .getElementById. I'll show you later what I want to do. I think it's get value, or
Value.
I think it's no value. Okay, so and this would be this would be the item, right? So we can do const item equal name. Name will be that one. Then we have price. Okay, let's log item. So now should be all empty. So I say that, yes. Yeah, but if I write something here, oh, I think it's not node value. It's
You're supposed to feed something.
Okay, just value. Cool. My bad. Yeah. Cool. So if amount would be 2, price would be 3. Yeah. And every time I do add item, I want to actually clear the form, right? I want to reset the form. So how do you reset the form? Let's see if this works. Perfect. So I get the value here, and then I reset it so I can do it again. And also have auto completion that you can turn it off if you want to. Okay, nice. So now that we got this item, what we need to do? So item would be actually our item that we want to add, right? So technically we would need to add a little bit of validation. Because like price cannot be a text, for example, and price cannot be a negative value. It's a lot of rules. Let's leave validation away from now, but validation is an important part. Let's forget about validation now. So what we need to do?
You need to push the data into the
Post the data.
Yes.
Yeah. Zip, 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 zip.
It's a pipe.
So the post would be on this address.
You commented because
Oh yeah, actually I have it here. Yes. That one. So I can comment this out. So I post, and this object is actually this. Does it make sense? Now, when I post, do you remember what I get back? So let's call this render list. And render list takes data. So I can call this one. Okay, so now I can recycle this. So every time I post something, I get back the updated list. Do you remember the API? So what I can do here, so pretty much like get, that I run this in the beginning. Every time I submit the form, I will grab the data from the form, post them to my backend, and then when the backend is ready, I will render the list. And render the list is this bit here. Okay, let's put the function on top. I'll just Yeah. Data's not defined. I think I've done some mistake. Perfect. So now if I add I'm adding all of them back again. So I need to clear the URL first and add them. So technically it would be just, so if succeed I will just add something to the list. Or this render list should actually clear the UL and re-render everything. So let me do that. Let's call this I'm refactoring as well, so this bit more performant.
Does the browser go like automatic refreshing or it remains?
No. There's no refreshes. We have just changed the HTML. I need to see.
Or you can suggest read the DOM and InnoHTML control now. You can read the URL and set InnoHTML now.
Oh, this one?
Got InnoHTML.
I don't.
I mean empty.
And that one is that one. Okay, let's see.
So you want to create a variable, right? Let or constant.
Okay, yeah. Yes. You see? And there's no refresh. So I have tomato and amount 23, price 90. It's instantaneous. There's no refresh. And we are using the API here. You can see the API here. This is my header. So this is my payload. This is what I send, and this is what I get back. And this is what I render here with the render list. We need delete and we need edit. So now we have a front end and we have a back end and we connected, we use Ajax request. Our web server is both returning some HTML, but it's also returning some endpoints. And if I refresh, this would be there. Let's have lunch. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll need to pause it because